Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another card making video tutorial. Today we're going to be making bookmarks 3 ways with the brand new Mama Elephant Bookmarks Creative Cuts, as well as some other fun products from the May 2023 release. And I thought it would be fun to use all of the different bookmarks included in the Simple Bookmarks Creative Cuts. So I'm going to begin by snipping my dies apart using the Lawn Fawn wire snips. And we're going to just kind of get them all prepped, get all those little notches removed and all that good stuff. And what you get is a bookmark die that has the little hole up there in the top so you can hang a string or a tassel or a ribbon, something like that from there if you choose to, and that just kind of hangs outside of your book. You also get the bookmark with a circle and a layering piece, and then the piece clear over to the left. That is a very unique die that folds in half and then folds to make a heart. So you can stick it out of the top of your book, and then the heart layering die there over on the right side of the screen layers on top. We're going to use them all today. So I did die cut my bookmarks from some Desert Storm cardstock, still loving the Desert Storm. And we're going to also stamp a couple of the images from the Storytime stamp set, also in the May release, onto the Desert Storm cardstock with some Hero Arts INTENS-IFIED black ink. This is an ink I like for alcohol ink coloring, and we are going to color these images in with Olo markers and then die cut them with the coordinating dies. And I picked kind of the more wintertime scene, and then I picked the unicorn scene. Literally, all of them are so super cute. The bigger image is going to fit on the biggest bookmark, the one with the hole for the tassel or the ribbon. And then the smaller image I'm going to place on the bookmark with the circle at the top. I'm going to start with my Olo markers and start coloring everything in. I have listed the marker colors I'm using down below in the description box. So if at any time you're wondering exactly what colors of markers I used, you can get that information there. Yes, did I color in my mountains? Because I know someone's going to say, why did you color in your mountains green? I don't know, you guys. That was a complete accident. Let's imagine that the mountains are green and that's the tree line, and there's trees down below and just the tops of the mountains are green, or pardon me, white and snow-capped. I think I was not thinking. I think I was not thinking. I just know someone will point it out to me, and so I wanted to just say that straight off. But when I was done coloring it and I noticed it, I thought, you know what, I don't care. I think it looks really cute. I like how it turned out, so I left it. So I did want to mention that. But yeah, those are mountains. I'm just imagining that they're kind of green in the background. I think probably when I first started coloring, I wasn't really thinking, and I probably just colored them like I colored the trees. I am using some yellow-green colors there for that, and then we're going to use some blues on the snow-capped trees. I do like to mention that your marker colors are going to look different on craft cardstock than they do on white, since you're using a colored cardstock base, but I think they turn out amazing. And I really want to encourage you to try coloring on something other than white. Maybe it isn't for you, and that's totally fine. But what I love is that you get a completely different look than you would get with other colors of cardstock. And it's kind of fun to try it and see what works and what doesn't. And I'm always so pleasantly surprised by how vibrant the colors actually are on the craft cardstock. So definitely give it a try. I love that these little tiny images kind of incorporate so many of our past favorites from Mama Elephant. So obviously the cute reindeer and penguin and sloth and snowman and little village. I mean, they've done sets with all of these different things. And I love that it looks like the book is opened and all of these cute images, the story is spilling out of the page, like coming to life. That is how I envision it and think about it in my mind. And I just thought it was very, very clever, very cute for all of the book lovers out there. And I know there are a lot of you, I hear from you. This is just an amazing set, as are all of the products in this May release. They're just so good and perfect for all of us who really want to play with all those book themed products. Now, I did miss a little section of the book. I will go back and get it. The penguin is holding a fishing line. And so I miss coloring kind of on the other side of that, which is fine. I would rather take my time than color something in the wrong color. Now, I do want to mention as well, look how muddy and not very pretty that the pond and the snowman look, but look how pretty the snow caps of the mountains look. That is very much the difference between one image being dry and the other image not being dry. So the alcohol ink will dry very quickly, and it's already starting to look much better. But when you put the marker to the paper, it just makes it look wet. And as it dries, that little hint of blue comes out, which I love. Now, the pages of the book I did do in some tan, which are some orange-red colors, but I am going to go into my reds for the book itself. Lots of red touches in this image that will help pop and really show up nicely against an image that has like a lot of neutrals. The critters are going to be neutrals, lots of greens, and then lots of blues. So I definitely want to pull in some pops of color where I can. Excuse me. Using different shades for the sloth and the reindeer, just to kind of differentiate between the two. We'll do a nice little light color for his face, dark back for the nose, and then some pinks for the cheeks. Actually, I say pink, it's a red. Did that for the reindeer as well. And a little red scarf, and again, another touch of red. So lots of little touches of red. We've got our penguin, so we're going to go into our warm grays. The top hat on the snowman as well. And then just kind of a nice, very light neutral for the rest of the body of the penguin. Or even kind of a light orange color, I think. Very, very light. Pink cheeks, orange for the foot and the beak. I noticed my book finally that I missed coloring. And then there's some clouds, and I think that's like a big snowball back behind. I don't know. I'm going to color it like a snowball. It looks like a bowling ball, to be honest, but I didn't want to color it like a bowling ball because I'm sure it's not. And again, adding in that lightest blue color just makes the paper look wet, but once it dries, it looks amazing. Okay, we have the houses. This is the opportunity for pops of color. So we're going to incorporate more reds, aquas, pinks, even a lavender color. Anything that we can do to really just pull in some more color into this image. And then obviously our unicorn image is going to have a lot of color in it, lots of rainbows and, you know, all of that good stuff. I'm trying out my different pinks to see how I think they look on my craft cardstock. And then I don't know why I did that. I went with the one I knew I wanted to use in the first place, but I tried out other ones instead. So we're going to color in the house with the pink. I love this pink color. It's going to be nice and bright. We're going to do the roof of this house in a blue-green color or aqua. For such a small image, it's tons of coloring. just because of all of the different little areas and all the little nooks and crannies and trying to fill in all of the little things. But look how cute that little pink house is. Isn't that darling? And then I did do these little, I like made them little boulders there by the pond, and I just used some browns. I noticed I hadn't colored them yet, and I'm still contemplating what color to do the other house. Well, red, of course. So we're going to do red here, but do like a lavender roof. I did do a little yellow in the windows. I know it's very hard to see, but I do think that it shows up a little bit just to kind of look like the lights are on in those homes. So cute. And when we add this to our bookmark or card or whatever you want to add it to, it just looks like this, the story is springing to life from the book. That's how I imagine it. And lots of now color let's move on to our unicorn. Rainbow, the mane on the unicorn. We're going to go with some warm grays for the unicorn itself, but very light colors. And then some darker warm grays for the castle, and our neutrals again for the book. So going with my favorite pink color combination for part of the rainbow, a heart, some of the mane, and the tail of our unicorn. And the areas are pretty small, so anything that's too small, I am not going to be blending more than one color. It just isn't going to need it. It's not really going to show. Let's go ahead and do our nice same neutrals that we did for the first book on the second one. Just lay in our layer over our darker shading color before blending that back out. So cute. I like that there's a couple of different sizes here as well. Going to go ahead and pull in some reds, a yellow, our blues for the clouds again. There are a few accessory images in this Storytime stamp set, like stars and clouds and hearts, and I think a flower. I am going to use the heart image, and I will use the cloud die, but I'm not going to use the cloud stamp for my finished cards, and that's going to be the very final step in the creation of this. Want to go with very light warm grays, so it's going to look very wet on the craft cardstock here, but I want to have a hint of color. I don't want my unicorn to be the craft color necessarily. I like how that color looks on here. Little rosy cheek. We'll pull in some darker gray for the hooves. And again, it's a lot of small areas. So I'm kind of taking my time, making sure that what I'm coloring is actually the mane or the tail or the rainbow or whatever. And I'm just going to kind of pull in all the rainbow colors here. And adding in some green now. Yellow for the unicorn horn. Nice warm gray base, just kind of all over the castle in the background. I thought it would be cute in color as well, and the reason I went ahead and opted for the gray was I feel like the rest of the colorful images pop a little bit more, because I at first thought like a lavender castle would be really fun, but I think keeping it more neutral with just a couple pops of color here and there was the right decision. It just helps all the rest of the color really show up. Okay, then we're going to run this over to our die cut machine. We're going to grab our coordinating dies, die cut these, and we're going to start building our bookmarks. Right after I double check and make sure I've colored everything. So now we have our bookmarks, and the first thing I'm going to do is take the Cloudy stencil from Lawn Fawn and some Surf Positively Saturated ink from Simon Says Stamp, and we are going to blend some clouds all the way down our bookmarks. And I was so pleasantly surprised with how amazing this ends up looking. I wasn't sure what it would look like on craft, and I gotta tell you, I love the effect. I think it turned out really, really cool. So we're just going to add this all the way down. I'm actually going to use my magnet from my Misty. This glass mat from Simon Says Stamp is magnetized, and that's just going to help hold that bookmark in place. I'm going to go around the bottom with a little extra ink and around the top, but I think that's so cute. That turned out amazing. Let's go ahead and do that for the other bookmark as well. And this one has the circle up at the top that can kind of stick out of your book or your planner or whatever you need a bookmark for. Just going to do kind of the same effect for both. And then we're going to glue our images to our bookmarks. So we've got our unicorn, and there is a circle layering die for that one. We'll hold off on that for just a minute and then we'll get back to that. I'm going to take some sentiments from the new Love Yourself stamp set, and I've picked 3, and I kind of laid them out how I want them to go. I've already glued down my image to the top of the bookmark. We're going to place this in a Misty. I'm going to have 2 of the sentiments kind of closer up to the top, and then another phrase or quote down near the bottom. They're all just kind of affirmations and just great little reminders. Would be fantastic for planners. Stay tuned. I'm going to use some in a planner as well. And then I'm going to stamp these with ocean ink right on the bookmark. And I love how that blue on blue looks. So soft and pretty. There's some perfect little spots to add. I'm sure you guys guessed it already, hearts. So we're going to take the heart from the storybooks or Storytime set, pardon me. And then I'm just going to go through my Mama Elephant stamp sets and find a smaller heart to work with that. I like different sizes of hearts. So definitely shop your stash. I'm sure you've got a heart in some stamp set that you have. So let's stamp our big guy first. And I'm going to stamp these directly onto the bookmark. There are coordinating dies for these. So if you want to stamp them on another piece of paper, color them and die cut them, you can do that. I kind of figured that was my backup plan. If things went bad and my coloring wasn't good, that I could color or stamp it on a separate piece of paper, color, die cut, and then add right over the top. And I think this little heart looks really cute with that bigger one. We will color these in because I definitely think they need to be red. I don't know about you guys, but for sure need to be red. Next, let's go ahead and work on our second bookmark. Oh, I lied. First, let's take the Sakura black jelly roll pen and let's add the detail back in. And this one little thing makes such a huge difference. It just brings the faces to life. And I like to do this after I have die cut everything. I've die cut the circle from another piece of craft cardstock, and I'm going to ink over that with some citrine ink. I felt like that just matched the feel of the design more than I did die cut a yellow circle and it just didn't look as good. And then we're going to position our image right there down below. I'm just going to put a little glue down, pop our circle in place, and then glue down our scene. Now, I didn't add anything onto my bookmarks with foam adhesive because these are going to be inside of books. If I was doing these on cards, you know that I would more than likely be incorporating some foam adhesive somewhere. to help pop these things up. Then I'm going to grab a sentiment again from that Love Yourself stamp set and stamp that with the ocean ink right on my bookmark. I thought that I might do what I did before, but ultimately I think it looks better with just one, at least for this design. We can add some hearts after we've stamped our sentiment. This time I think I'll only add a couple. Oh, I love it. I think it's so cute. Let's grab our heart again, and I'm going to position it kind of over here along the right side. Stamp that with the black INTENS-IFIED ink from Hero Arts. We're going to grab that little small heart again from another set, and we're going to stamp that one as well. Then we'll color these in with our red markers, just like we did before. Super quick coloring. This one doesn't really require as much of the black Jelly Roll pen. Now I'm going to fold the final bookmark in half and then fold over the heart pieces. You're going to add glue to each half of the heart and then glue the heart pieces in place. I decided to do a two-tone in my heart, so I'm using the Lawn Fawn textured cardstock, and I am just die cutting the heart twice, one from a lighter shade and one from a darker shade, with the exception of the pink red heart bookmark. I used pink cardstock for one and red for the other side. And I just like the two-tone. You definitely don't have to do that. And I will end up with lots of extra pieces, meaning I can make a whole nother set of bookmarks. Now, I am going to show these all in one planner, but I definitely would probably not use them all in the same one. I just thought they looked really cute lined up like that, but you can use these in your books. These are super simple. Imagine making these for party favors or for classrooms. I mean, absolutely so easy. You could even like stamp each child's name or something down the side. I think there's a lot of ways to customize these really, really unique. So let's go ahead and assemble the rest of them, and then I'm going to pop them in a book. So this is definitely the easiest one. No coloring required, just a little die cutting and a little gluing. But I just think they are so stinking cute. And I like these shades of cardstock. They're textured, so they are a little more interesting than just super flat cardstock. And my final one. I just did 5 here today. The hearts would also be cute used just on a card itself, where you could piece together the hearts. I think that would be fun as well. Just think outside the box with all of these different products. So here is my planner, and I'm just tucking them in to show how cute they work. Isn't that fun? Love that. And then I decided to be extra, and I'm just going to tuck all of them in and line them up. Again, I probably wouldn't use them all in the same book or planner, but it was fun to showcase them this way. Would probably even be cute to put them in a book and display it like in a craft room or something. I think that would be fun as well. Okay, let's finish our other bookmarks really quick. Let's move the rest of our heart pieces out of the way. I have a piece of ribbon that I'm just going to thread through my bookmark and then tie into a little knot up at the top and trim the ends. So very, very simple way to finish this one off. And I also want to add some glaze, clear glaze, to the heart images and things on my bookmarks. the great thing about GLAZE is, or even the White Blizzard Nuvo crystal drops I'm also going to add to the snow caps or the clouds, it is going to dry fairly flat. Obviously, don't put this in your book until it's all the way dry, but it's going to dry pretty flat. It's not going to be super puffy like the foam adhesive or a dimensional embellishment would be, but it adds a nice little something to the finished design. It's going to make our hearts nice and glossy, having that kind of wet or raised look to them, which I think is going to look really nice, almost like it's an embellishment, yet still retain that flat. Now that little cloud over there on the edge, that is from the Storytime set. And I'm not, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not going to use the coordinating stamp set. You could, but I am going to just die cut the cloud itself from some Lawn Fawn pearlescent vellum and then add those to the tops of both of my bookmark scenes to finish them off. And I like the pearlescent. It has a little bit of sheen and shine to it that I think is just going to be perfect. And I'm only adding a little touch of Nuvo crystal drops and White Blizzard to my clouds, so they only have a tiny bit of sparkle. I did a little bit more on the snow caps. All those little finishing details that really pull together and finish your project beautifully. I noticed I missed some clouds over here, maybe even the water too. Just a touch. And there are the pearlescent clouds. Let's go ahead and add some to the other bookmark now. And I just glued them down. You could use it like a Xyron sticker maker or run them through on sticker paper and die cut them and make them into stickers. I didn't. I probably should have, but they're bookmarks. I tried to hide the adhesive the best I could. And I think the little clouds turned out perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these bookmarks 3 ways with brand new Mama Elephant May 2023 release products. The supplies I used to create these bookmarks are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There's exclusive content, you'll receive a handmade birthday card from me during your birthday month, monthly lives for my top tier patrons, and more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're always notified when I have a video or go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.